Cudjoe on the line. Franklin, good morning. How are you?
Hi, good morning. Hi.
It's good to hear your voice. How was your trip to the north, Salaga and Tamale? Did you enjoy it?
Oh, without a doubt, it was wonderful. Thank you.
I saw your post, and have you seen any changes to the fortunes of the people up north based on your observations when you
Well,
traveled there?
obviously, the fortunes things must change, right? But I think it builds on the people there. They have good leaders. They have too many leaders to have a water facility water treatment plant that is over 50 years old, and it's clunky, doesn't work. The whole of Tamale metropolis, you're supposed to, I'm sure it's just about less than a quarter of people get water from that treatment plant. It's a shame, really, and I hope that they do something quick and fast.
Anyway.
I mean, but otherwise the people are wonderful. I was at the UDS because we wanted to have a conversation with them about how to bring some of these our pedagogical, economic lessons and economic education to the university up north. And then, there were other interesting visits as well. And I was hosted pretty well by my good friend, the paramount chief of Dalum.
This is Franklin Cudjoe. Wow. Giving us a report from his trip to the north. Talking about water. Ghana with so much water, we don't have water. Yesterday I had about 5 different people calling me that for the past 1 month they've not really received water through their taps. But that's not what we are talking about this morning. We are talking about the Wesley Girls issue. The AG says that the action of Wesley Girls is justified, and he's rejecting the assertion that the school's policies are unlawful. This issue is something that you both have been following. I want to start from you, Godfred Bobkin. Are you surprised by the AG's position? What do you think about this position by the AG?
Well, yes, good morning once again, and good morning to my senior friend, Imani, our president. Good morning. So, I'm not surprised. I think that is largely consistent with the expectations of stakeholders. To be curious why the focus is on Wesley Girls. We want to look at the implications of this broadly beyond just Wesley Girls. If you look at Ghana's history, our socio-economic development, even before independence, the role of the church in terms of our socio-economic development, you cannot discount that. Religious bodies and all of that, we need to just also understand that they have invested, and therefore we need to create a certain framework that allows religious bodies to invest as a way of also entrenching the sustainability of their faith and all of that within the dynamics. The context is also very important, because beyond Wesley Girls, churches, religious bodies have invested across kindergarten, basic, junior high school, senior high schools, even across universities, and all of them. They do all of these things for a purpose and all of that. And yes, and these are investments that is made. Beyond that, you also want to look at the other layer in terms of vocational training institutions that they have equally invested in and all of that. There's a reason for doing all of that. Again, you also want to look at it within the health sector in terms of health facilities delivery, beyond that, skills training, empowerment, and all of that. There are others who are building prisons as we speak currently and all of that. So we need to look at the implications of this within a certain framework that allows religious bodies to invest, of course, to aid national development, but also for their faith. And then also the dynamics. I mean, we also want to look at the overwhelming majority of people who are in the school and all of that. So I'm not surprised. And I want to believe that, maybe for now, it looks as though the focus is Wesley Girls and all of that, but I think we need to look at the broader implications and take our history into consideration, even before independence and afterwards. If you track the data and you look at the level of investment and all of that, and the role that they have played in terms of moral upbringing, integrity, and all of that. I think it's beyond just looking at it with respect to Wesley Girls. Yeah.
But Prof, I think you're very right when you point to the heavy investment that these missions have made in schools and other aspects of society.
Yeah, and hospitals. I have hospital.
Yes, but yeah. Prof, does that investment buy them the right to discriminate against people?
Look at it this way: that there are options. Other religious bodies will put up mosques or churches for a purpose. They would invest for a purpose. It doesn't preclude the state from also investing, okay, and for purposes of serving other interests or other religious bodies investing appropriately and all of that. So I think that is the perspective that we should look at it from. There are mission schools. There have been calls, and I think I subscribe to that as well, largely to that extent. But let's return the mission schools to the churches. They probably can manage it better. But we also recognize that a certain partnership between the state and religious bodies will be good. Remember that we are incredibly religious and all of that. I started life as a Muslim, but I'm a Christian now, and I'm grateful that Christ came into my life. Those dynamics would always play out, so we should not create certain tensions and all of that. To the extent that it is possible, fine. If it is not, I think we should not look at the law and all of that. I think we should engage more. We should also encourage greater investment in this direction to complement government efforts in our socio-economic development. So to that extent, I think that yes, I will go with the Attorney General's position, and I think that would largely be consistent with the broader perspective.
Frankly, let's bring you in. The question is that a person or an institution or an organization obviously has rights. And the concept is that you can exercise your rights as long as you don't infringe on the rights of others. The question here is, if a Muslim goes to Wesley Girls or any other school, let's not make it about only Wesley Girls. If a Muslim goes to a mission school and says their prayers, does that infringe on the rights of the mission school? Also, if a mission school says a Muslim cannot say their prayers, does that infringe on the rights of the Muslim? I wonder how you see this perspective.
This is rather sad and strange at the same time. I attended Catholic schools throughout, from the O level to the A level, Pope Johnson, St. Mary's Junior Seminary.
Yeah.
Back in St. Mary's, between 1989 and 1994, I think we had a few Muslims. There was this famous guy called Isa Adamu, a good friend of ours. And I think there was a time that he, more or less, he had a hell of a time at some point. I remember the headmaster and some priest telling him that, look, you better conform. You need to come to church and then later go and pray. Even at that age, I never understood the sense in that particular argument, because I said, well, this guy is a Muslim. He should be allowed to do whatever he does. The only reason why I probably understood why the priest the authorities wanted him to be part of the church was because they said, well, they didn't want anybody loitering about, right? Church, rosary, just come and do whatever you want to do. Because you elected to be part of the school, I found it quite ludicrous and quite frankly an abuse of people's freedoms and rights. Much as I agree that, look, you knew before you entered, it's a bit too much for me. Look, even in the Catholic Church, and the Catholic actually means universal, we accommodate other faiths. Mostly we accommodate Muslims, right? Remember, I think in the Vatican, there's some place for accommodating other faiths. I don't know, but Anyway, I need to be educated though. If I don't know those people who went to, let's say, the Tia Ahmadiyya secondary school, were they also asked to conform? I don't know. I've never really found that out. Maybe people can, those listening can actually educate us as well. Is it the case that you are told once you're in the Catholic, in an Islamic school, you definitely have to conform? I don't know. So, frankly, I'm a libertarian. I'm totally not really in for sectarian, sectarianism or sectarian interest, whether they be religious, they be, other faiths. It's difficult for me. Of course, if there are many, I'm struggling. Look, I was in the university. Hold on.
Yeah.
One last point. Even in the university, I recall one time I was working with one. I think our head of department once. I won't mention his name now, and then he made an interesting point. He said, "Hey, before we were adults, how?" I was like, "What the hell? What is this guy talking about?" And I was asking myself, "What's the point?" I don't understand. Maybe I'm too liberal. I don't know, but frankly, I would not. I don't think it's fair. I mean, I don't think it is fair. We should do a bit more to accommodate people. Like I said, I should be educated as to whether other Islamic schools also have this very sectarian practice. Thank you.
There is an interesting argument that comes up in similar issues. I heard it when young Tyrone Magai was trying to attend Achimota School with his dreadlocks. This argument that, well, if you allow one group to have their rights, then you must allow all other groups to have their rights. So very soon, then those who sacrifice animals for rituals as part of their religion will also ask for time to do that in school. And all other, from Hindus to Buddhists, they will all request, special times for prayers in school. And then there will be chaos. It always ends with that claim that there will be chaos. I don't know, what is your take on that?
No, I've never really believed in that. Look, when we were in the university, we had a non-denominational services as well. I mean, I could go to the lighthouse. I could go to other churches. In fact, I ran away once when they said, put your hand in your pocket, collect the money, and I said, I'm going back to my Catholic church. But of course, I enjoy the praise. The praise and worship was lively, you dance around, you sort of gyrate and all of that. But I loved it. The only thing I didn't like is the money. As a young man, I didn't have enough money. They tell you, put your hand here, put your hand there. I didn't like it. Look, non-denominational services are very important, and we should be having some of them. I don't even think we should leave this. I don't think it is right, or it is even true that there'll be chaos. I don't think chaos is the right word to use. I really struggle. Maybe if we are not, for example, if we allowed everybody to do whatever they want to do under strict guidance, why not? I don't think the Muslim faith, by praying, will be breaking tables and chairs. The same way, I don't think Christians are praying in school, they'll be breaking chairs and tables. There must be rules. And I think that's the only thing that should matter. Otherwise, really, can we really fit in this country? Isn't Ghana? Ghana is not a homogeneous, more or less, country. We have Muslims, we have other faiths, we have Christians, even though we are more. And aren't we living peacefully together? Is there been chaos? Except, of course, the pacifists, those religious fundamentalists in other parts of the world. By the way, they are Christian fundamentalists, by the way, are Christians who have told people to drink poison and die with them, or even marry many hundreds of people. I mean, we've had all these lunatics in the past, just as they are in other in Christians, lunatics in the Christian faith, just as they are in other faiths as well. I think we should be working towards tolerance and reducing as much as possible the opportunities to be suspicious of each other.
Frankly, let me move to Prof Bokpin. So, Prof, I'm looking at the broader implications of the stance of the Attorney General. For example, you have the Pentecost Church, which has also invested in a lot of schools, hospitals, even prisons, right? We have different institutions which have invested in a lot of things. In fact, if you look at the distribution of the TI Amar schools, aside the one in Kumasi, I know the ones in the Gomoa areas, they have quite a lot of schools also around, which serve the general populations because of the geographic location of these. So if any group, or if all the groups decide that if this is the stance, then maybe Catholic Pentecost Church, the prisons we help to fund, we only want to have Christians in there because we don't want Muslims to come and pray in the prisons. Our hospitals are going to have serve only people of our faith. Would that not actually be chaotic?
No, Cudjoe, that's not the purpose. These churches invest as a way of also propagating their faith.
Yeah.
So it is. I don't think it's going to be the case that they will say only Christians who can come there to serve their faith or something and all of that. Don't forget that even within the traditional prison system, churches have been visiting and investing in reformative measures, complementing government effort and all of that. So it's a mission school, it's a mission hospital, it's a mission training institution.
At the moment, it really is not a mission school. It was a school started by a mission which has been absorbed into the state system.
The state, from day one, recognizes the important role of the churches. And the way to go is that kind of coexistence, partnership, and all of that. But I think that we should be moving towards a framework that allows religious bodies to also invest appropriately, as a way of also complementing the state while they seek to achieve their goal. Look, when it comes to this particular issue, you realize that there is always a contest, and we should not open the Pandora's box to the extent that every serious religious body wouldn't want to give up its space. They wouldn't want to. You have to go to other countries where one particular religion dominates and observe what happens and all of that all over the world. Whether even others that are not so religious, so to speak, they also have what they believe in, their culture. You can talk about the Asians and the rest of them. So there are dynamics that we need to recognize.
So Prof, what you are saying is that we need to encourage partnerships without denying the institutions the opportunity to keep whether it's their religious or cultural beliefs intact.
We need to, and also there are options. Look, don't forget, Methodist Church has invested. They will not give up. Presby has invested. They will not give up. Pentecost has invested. They will not give up. Other religious bodies have also invested at different levels and all of that. They will also not easily give up.
But
there
Prof,
will always be,
would allowing a Muslim to attend your school, would that constitute
Muslim?
giving up? Would that constitute giving up?
Muslims. Why are we pitting Muslims against?
That's the example we have. That's the example we have in the Wesley Girls issue. That's why I'm sticking to it. But I'm saying, so if Wesley Girls allows a Muslim to attend Wesley Girls and say their prayers, does that constitute giving up? What is Wesley Girls giving up?
Remember, there's a reason why they invested to have a mission school. They built infrastructure. They acquired the land. There's a reason. Look, even other religious bodies where overwhelming majority are of other faiths and all of that, where normally, and even the level of investment does not measure here and there. I'm saying that nobody wants to give up. we can negotiate, we can discuss, and all of that. But that's what I'm saying, that why is the focus on Wesley girls? There are kindergarten, there are basic, primary, junior, senior, even all the way to the universities, where religious bodies have set up universities and all of that. So the question is the space that they all want to. But I also believe that we need to understand, situate this well within our fiscal space and the complementarity rule, that so we don't highlight some of these tensions so much. Of course, on the quiet, some people would want to negotiate, push through, discuss, so can we have some kind of this and all of that. But I believe that we should create that space for religious freedom, which also implies that a religious body can invest as a way of also propagating its faith and all of that. But in that same sphere, they are serving the common good and all of that. So those are the dynamics. I believe that we need to look at it from that perspective. Otherwise, the wider implication within the health sector, with so many other sectors and all of that. And if Pentecost is building prisons, I think that the focus will not be that they only accept Christians into that prison and all of that. Even beyond that, there are evangelism, scholarships, and other things that other religious bodies would offer without looking at whether you are a member of the church or the religious body or so and all of that. But I think that we need to just understand the history, the concept, and also the fact that there is space for other religious bodies to equally invest in terms of our socio-economic development and all of that. And then we make progress.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Prof Bokpin. Thank you, Franklin Cudjoe, for your perspectives on this particular issue. We await the action in the Supreme Court and the ruling that the Supreme Court will give to this particular case for further conversations later here on the Super Morning Show. But thank you and have a great day. It's 9:44. We are going for a quick break.